Hey y'all, welcome back to the cookie jar. Today we're doing the 6th recipe from the Peach Cobbler murder. They are called the German chocolate cake cookies. They sound really good. This page, as well as these 2 pages. The first thing that it says is you're not preheating the oven yet, make the cookie dough first. And it's got a cookie dough and then it's got the frosting and they put them together. I like that. So what you're going to need for the cookie dough is 1 cup of butter, 2 sticks, 1 cup milk chocolate chips, 2 cups white granulated sugar, 2 eggs, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 3 cups of flour, no need to sift. And then for the frosting, it says you're going to need half a cup of firmly packed brown sugar, 3/4 cups tightly packed coconut, half a cup of chopped pecans, 1/4 cup chilled butter, half a stick, 2 egg yolks beaten. Then you're going to make the dough. It says dough will be stiff and a bit crumbly, so forewarned with that. And you're going to cover that and set it aside while you make the frosting, which pretty much takes all the frosting ingredients and chucks them into a food processor. So once you have the frosting made, you're going to put that in the fridge, and then I guess you're going to take the dough and preheat the oven, and you're going to scoop out the dough, put little holes like thumbprint cookies almost, and then you're going to take the frosting and fill the holes you made in the cookies, and then you're going to bake them off at 350 for 10 minutes. So everything is laid out in the kitchen. Then we'll get started. Here is everything we're going to use for the cookie dough and the filling. So the first thing we're doing is we're taking the 2 sticks of butter. And I am going to cut them up a little bit to get them into the measuring cup. Now it doesn't need to be a measuring cup. I just use this because I feel it easier to pour out once it's melted. And then we're taking the cup of milk chocolate. Put the other stick of butter on top. Alright, so 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of chocolate chips into the microwave for 2 minutes. While that's going, I'm going to start on the next thing. And it says in the mixing bowl, mix the sugars. So that's the 2 cups of sugar. And the eggs. That's the 2 beaten eggs. All right, now we're going to add in the half a teaspoon of baking powder, the half a teaspoon of baking soda, the half a teaspoon of salt, and the 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I've got a chocolate mixture, and we just need to mix this until it's smooth. Alright, that is finally smooth. Warm to touch, but no longer hot. Alright, we're just gonna add it in. So now it says add the flour and mix well. So that's 3 cups of flour. It doesn't say to add it in increments, so dump we go. Now it says this is supposed to be dry and crumbly. It is not dry or crumbly. So neither is it stiff. I'm just gonna try to get the rest of the flour knocked in. It is getting stiffer. I still don't think it's crumbly, but it is supposed to sit while you make the filling. See, I call it a filling, the book calls it a frosting. Whatever you want to call it. Cover this up and set it aside. Handy dandy food processor. It says combine the sugar and coconut first. So that's the half a cup of brown sugar, and the 3/4 cup of firmly packed coconut. Now add the chopped pecans. That's a half a cup of the pecans. And then cut the butter, and just to cut this into 4 chunks. Basically cut them in a tablespoon. 4 chunks of butter. And then it's processed until the butter is in small bits. I see small bits. Although I am gonna take a second to kind of knock this around. So separate the egg yolks in a glass and whip them up with a fork. Which seems strange to me since they're going in a blender anyway, but it demands I shall do. Alright, and then into the bowl and process until incorporated. Probably should not have been more careful where I drop this. So now it says to preheat the oven to 350. So, do you think? I think I'm going to dump the filling in here and then try to mix it up a little bit more. And I'm just gonna say this does not look like a lot of filling. It doesn't. So either it doesn't make a lot of cookies or you don't use very much filling. My plan was to use a teaspoon and that just seems too much because that's the amount of filling. Covering this and getting it into the fridge. So what we're doing now is we're taking our filling and our cookie scoop. I'm just gonna plop 12 down on the tray. So now we've got our 12 balls. So what I'm gonna do is I've got the teaspoon. So just gonna push that in. And then you're left with little holes. I'm gonna do that for the rest of them, and then we fill the holes. So it did what it said. There are 5 dozen plus 4. So made 5 pieces. So now what we're gonna do is we take our cookies and we add in a filling. I'm just going to take half a teaspoon of filling and just kind of pat it into the holes. And there we have it. So there is quite a lot of this left. I'm probably going to go back over and like just kind of refill any of them that look like they could hold more, because why not? So it was accurate. We did get 5 dozen plus 4, so it was like 64 cookies in total. They are going to go in the oven at 350 for 10 to 12, cool on the sheets for 2, and then go in a metal rack. So all of the cookies are finally done. They come out like these are the German chocolate cake cookies. So they do spread out quite a bit. Let's start with that. And I'm not thrilled with the cookie to filling ratio. And I even went back because there was a lot of filling at the end and I refilled them suckers a lot. And they still end up mostly cake. Chocolate. Let's go chocolate. But the base being the chocolate and the filling being essentially what goes on top of a German chocolate cake. It's like a caramelized coconut kind of. Having made German chocolate cake before, I wouldn't say it's a substitute. The flavors are close, but I feel a German chocolate cake has a deeper chocolate flavor than you're getting out of the milk chocolate chips. Could you have used a semi-sweet and gotten to that point? Maybe. I don't feel like the chocolate flavor is strong enough in these cookies. They are good, and they do leave you with that caramely coconut flavor in your mouth after you eat them. I just don't think they're chocolatey enough. I mean, chocolate's in the name. They need to be chocolatey. There you go. They are good though. They are very, very good. Now, next week, we are making the next recipe, which is called Desperation Cookies, which I think they also have another name. Basically, everything but the kitchen sink. You're just basically emptying out your pantry of all the half bags and little remains, and you're just putting it all together to equal like 4 cups or something. The chips and nuts. I don't remember. But it's basically what they are. You're just basically, you open your pantry and you find all the chocolate chips you have left over and all the nuts you have left over, and you make it 4 cups worth of each. Which, I mean, hey, you know, it's a great way to use up what you have left over in your pantry. So, you're making those next week. I have no idea what the ratios are going to be at this point, but that is next week's problem. I hope you love it. Have a good one. Bye, guys.